All right, guys, everyone of you, when I used to bring up Veve back in the day, the OG days, and then be like, well, you can't cash out in that, man. Like, so that's not really, NFT, or that's not really crypto because you don't have a wallet.
Yeah.
You can't just own it. You
Yeah.
can own everything in crypto. If you don't own it, then it ain't yours. Sometimes you don't want to own it. You know what I mean? Because in order to get intellectual property, especially Disney, they pretty much are they have like hundreds of attorneys. So it's really hard to own actual property up there. Right. Especially when it's like detailed and very, licensed, very low quantity amount. But anyways, that's going into the other rabbit hole. But
so what? Veve is a collectible app.
Yeah, Veve is a collectible app. They have digital art. They have comic books
and sculptures.
Sculptures. That's in the digital art category. They have animated figures as well. Animated art, which is like almost like your video game. Pretty much like PlayStation and Microsoft. They're pretty much NFTs but they're in their own ecosystem. Right. They're locked down. Right. So anyways, Veve's not locked down anymore.
Yeah. So they got their own wallet.
Yep. They have their money transmitter license. So now you can through a third party company transfer your gems, your in-house currency like a crypto or whatever you want to call it, your monopoly money, and make it into real money. Right. Obviously, there's going to be taxes, fees, and all that conversion rates, etc. All that good stuff. Uncle Sam and all these companies need to make a dime off your dime. You know what I mean? Yep. All of your hard work speculations, they're making your money.
Watch my money go up. Okay, you can have a little.
Yeah. And it's like I have 10 grand. Oh, I only have 7 now. They take that kind of percentage. But anyways, I'll read the article. So payout. What you need to know. So this is pretty much breaking you down I just pretty much just talked about. Veve payout details and what you need to know. Since the inception of Veve, many collectors have amassed amazing collections, and some have been lucky enough to on-sell their collectibles in the secondary market. Veve's secondary market for more than they paid for. Now, as we begin to open up access to beta payouts features, collectors will be able to convert their gems, monopoly money, into selected currencies with withdrawals, payout features. Payout is a system that allows you to withdraw money from your gems, from your Veve wallet, and back into your bank account. And local currency. Mm. So we're not just like talking about US dollars. We're talking about, Asia, Europe. So that's pretty cool. Payouts currently support bank transfers, fiat. Fiat is pretty much your local currency, dollars, pounds, whatever. USDT, stablecoin, ETH. We just talked about ETH, big things. That'd probably be my only way I would convert it. Like, if I really wanted to, if like the NFT community would bring it back up, you know what I mean? And people would have new buyers. Like, I'm not just talking about like you and I going in on NFTs. We're talking about trust, like companies buying these because they know the same thing as they know what Bitcoin's doing. They know what Ethereum's doing. Like, well, let's not buy this because it's another market that we can make money off of. Sure. Anyways, they buy a lot, it goes up. I would dump some Ethereum. I just get Ethereum. Binance USDT. That's why earlier when I was talking about Binance, I just pretty much kind of skipped it because it's just pretty much like a stable coin in a way. Yeah. All your C20s and BTC currency payouts currently only hold for technical issues. In order to use features, you are required to do KYC, know your customer, which pretty much you verify yourself through your local government issue license, Social Security, and all that good mumbo jumbo. Make sure it's really you because we don't want people to launder money.
Tax,
the tax man is knocking at your door for sure, and it's before you get your money. So they give you your money.
So I know that he was really into Veve for a while and collecting, trading, whatever, with people all around the world, and trying to look for a snatch of good deals. And he had always mentioned this with the MTL money transfer. Soon. Yeah, it was always coming, right? And we're thinking like, oh, that's a big adoption point. And once again, all markets are down, so it's really hard to assess. But we know if you're doing this stuff, that's very significant. So I want to touch on it. I know we're not doing it as much anymore, but it doesn't matter. It's very significant in the space, right? It's an important point.
It is. It's a very, like if you would have a book, it would be highlighted, underscored, asterisks in it, because this changes the game. Yeah. It makes it a collector-based community, and it opens it up to investors. Right.
Exactly.
And then that's like what we just talked about earlier with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Like you had like the OGs, and then you have the governments, and you have companies. Yeah, that's what I was just saying earlier too. The same thing.
Exactly.
This is pretty much just a sneak peek. If you want to get into something early before it becomes the next Bitcoin or Ethereum, that would be my best bet. Like just go to Veve and start doing research and figure out what you like and invest in it. There's different kinds of investments. Like what was it that one time when we were talking and you're like maxis. Like you got maxi. A maxi is pretty much what definition of a person that just owns that one coin and like
everything else sucks.
Yeah. So you can have a maxi and Veve. You can be like, oh, all I do is comic books, or all I do is Disney golden moments. That's all I do. That's who's gonna go from value. That's my spec on it. This is what it. So you can have maxis. You can have stackers. The guys that just buy a little bit of everything, just stacks it until the hype gets to it, and then they dump it. You can do that, or you can just be a collector and buy what you like. You don't care what the market does. And then when you need, when you want some funds, you want some ETH, you want something, you want to go on vacation, you just sell some of it.
I mean, collectors are really primed to be the best people to know the market anyways. So maybe you buy one for you and one to sell. So like, I don't know. A lot of people get very attached to being a collector of what they have, but if you start to speculate after you do it for a while, you go, okay, all this is appreciating. not in 2022, but that's like anything. You actually make the most market when there's a bear market. That's when you make the most money, when the market's bleeding, right? You go, okay, cool, I can buy all this stuff up or whatever. All right, hell, it didn't sell, and then the next time the market goes up, like you're up. I mean, that's what happens with Bitcoin for years and years. Like a couple $100 and it's 1,000 goes down, and it goes to 8,000 goes down. Well, if you hold some of this stuff through those times, you're gonna, it has to have good fundamentals. And we're talking about, ETH, Bitcoin, and Veve, all this stuff. Well, you get an MTL, you get this, you get that. It builds legitimacy to your brand, and then bigger money wants to come in, and you're standing the test of time, and you have a good team that's not, they really do believe in this. They're not going to just dump, and that's all the stuff you want to look in to a healthy marketplace. And okay, cool, there's going to be more and more people coming because you have a good product. So
the article pretty much comes to an end at this point, because it just goes in order to feature, it just walks you through the steps on how to set up your KYC and everything. The one thing that no one's talked about, and it's super undervalued, I'm not trying to pump it or anything like that. I always forget to buy some, but so Veve also has a crypto. It's called Omi. Komi. So they actually just also, we talked about it in previous shows, I believe. They went from Go chain to Ethereum chain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're in Ethereum also. I think they're layer 2. I don't think they're layer 1 yet, but they're still in Ethereum chain. Yeah. And that was a big step for them. That was a huge step. So that's one of the first really big they're actually working on what they're saying they're doing.
Right.
And that was one. And then with this KYC, just legitified them even more. But they do not have gem to Omi.
Oh.
They don't have that yet.
I wonder why.
It's got to do something with, I don't know, maybe
legalese.
Maybe they don't want some efforts of pumping and dumping going on, and that's highly probable that's going to happen. Especially people that have
a lot.
Well, the OGs that saw this and just literally just put hundreds of thousands of dollars in this project,
whaled
it up, dude. These whales have the potential of honestly pumping and dumping.
Sure.
When in this kind of scenario, so they're actually trying to.
It's smart for them not to.
It's not worth it in the end. They're like, hey, dude, you can get your money out. All the people that have always put FOMO out there saying well, it's not a real thing because I can't get my money out. Now you guys can go. Now we have the 3 people. We have the collectors, the stackers, and the maxis. You know what I mean? That's what we want. You know what I mean? So the actual token Ecomi will be used in their metaverse to buy property.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be like Earth 2 and all those other ones that you hear, Virtua, whatever.
Other collectibles too.
Well, they're collectibles, but they also Earth 2 and Virtua, or I don't even probably even saying it right, but those are they're developing the meta world.
Okay.
Where
Cool.
where you can actually buy oceanfront property in this fake world.
live next to Snoop Dogg again as he keeps buying digital property.
Yeah, it ends up, or sell it to him, whatever.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
But
Snoop, I bought it all.
Yeah,
come get one.
Yeah. One, some coffee, some eat.
Right.
But anyways, that's gonna be the next big thing. Is gonna be like, dude, like you can't live on the beach, but you can live in an artificial beach, and it's probably gonna be worth a pretty good amount. It might not be worth millions, maybe. I don't know. It might not be worth millions, but it might be worth tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, and therefore, you know what I mean? Like, and then there's so much potential in this metaverse. I don't know. It's a rabbit hole, but anyways.
Yeah, I think it's so hard to assess what's actually worth what, because like some metaverse things are like super hype and only speculation. Other ones, like I see it almost like as a, how water is filtered through a process. Some of these things that are actually going to be really cool, they're going to stay, and other ones like they're going to wash out, and like you just don't know yet because it's kind of in the incubation speculation.
Yeah.
Half of them are probably garbage, and other ones will go to the moon. Like that's just how you got to keep looking at the projects. Eventually, go, is this worth me? Do I really believe in it? I think that's what it always comes down to in this space. But I'm just fascinated by that process. Why I think it's fun to do this. It's like you're just watching things mature in age and what sticks and what doesn't. Because I think some of that stuff definitely will eventually. Some people have been talking about glasses and stuff, like VR stuff, instead of like the headset, because nobody wants to wear a headset all day. Or maybe you just have it on the wall. We kind of touched on this before. Like it's just a really big thing where it's immersive. I don't know. At some point, maybe you can walk into a room and you don't have to put a headset on anymore, or just like something very light. I don't know. Yeah. But something will stick.
Yeah, and these two subjects that he's talking about are like what I really like spec on. You know what I mean? Like I spec on it because it's real. Like you can either have augmented reality, which is like we're sitting here, but we have a holograph.
Yeah.
Or we have a virtual reality, which we're immersed in it. Like we're literally all digital. And those two things is what the people choose. Right. So honestly, it's what the people choose. To answer the questions, just if someone asks me, what do you think is going to be the next big thing? What the people choose, you know what I mean? Because I don't know what they're going to choose. Right. I mean, I can tell you what I like, but I can't tell you what other millions of people like. So it's what the people choose.
Well, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, probably 50 different companies are developing metaverses. So it's just whatever's implemented the best, whatever's like clean, silky, smooth, and then just keeps building. Because you can't like ever be complacent in innovation, right? Like there's so much competition here. It's like people are just going to go to the best one. It's like they're not loyal to anything except for the best thing experience they can have. So it's hard to know which one that is. Maybe you turn around and go, this is the one day. If you just see the brand and the company and them, maybe they're even smaller, but they're building like crazy. Well, that's a good 10-year plan, right? They're building like crazy. They believe in it. So it's hard to know, but I do really think that something's going to stick and a lot of stuff are going to filter out. So yeah.
And to answer that question, like I don't know like the future, but like the near future, what will win? I can tell you what's gonna win, dude. You want to go in your metaverse? Do you want to have like a block shoe, or do you want to have a Jordan shoe?
Right.
You know what I mean? Do you want to have like a blank shirt, or do you want to have like a super shirt? I don't know. Whatever. The licenses and IPs that these metaverse worlds have are going to be the ones that are going to be winning because people are going to want that.
Yeah.
Or if you can bring in your digital art from your wallet into their verse, then that'll be another great thing.
I think that's a good point. I also think like whatever's the most immersive and the most interesting to be there, because I agree with you. And yet Minecraft, which is super blocky, is the most popular game of all time. I don't understand why. It's like, but that's because it's immersive, where it's free roam. You can build anything. So it's so hard to predict what's going to be. Like, I do agree there has to be some level of brand integration, or not even that, but just somewhere that touches reality, right? That's an interesting experience. And it's like, it's just so hard to know whatever that is. But it's cool to watch, and it's cool to see what's coming, right? So, I don't know. We want to touch on that because Veve's definitely stepping in the right direction, and take away a step back from the metaverse. Like, digital collectibles for a lot of people is a big deal. And it's the same thing as like digital video games. Maybe somebody at one point is like, I don't want that. Well, you know what? after you like want to switch around like 4 different games, you don't get up and move stuff over and over and over again. It's like, screw it, I want it all digital. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, it burns out the disc thing too, you know? It's like, it's just more convenient. So there's good things about having physical and digital collectibles, and there's positives on both sides. So
exactly, man. Because if all my VV collectibles were real, I wouldn't be able to store them here. I just wouldn't physically be able to have them here.
It's too much.
It wouldn't be too much. It'd be too much. It was like,
you'd be a real hoarder.
Yeah, I'd be a super hoarder, dude, like max hoarder, like, you know. And I was actually thinking about that too. Like, I was like, because we're doing this comic book thing, and like they're like, well, what happens if you get big? You know what I mean? Like, what happens if, like, you know, people need, you know, people want what you have, or like people want, like, they know you have good taste in comics and you have the quality and all that stuff. What are you gonna do then?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, well, at that point, I'd have to do what other people are doing, right? I'd have to go to get a little store, not a store, but like
a booth front at least, or something.
No, not a booth front. It'd be like
storage.
A warehouse.
Okay.
A warehouse. Like, it'd be, I don't know, like a warehouse, and maybe turn it into like I don't know if you've seen like the Rob Dyrdek show where he has like he's a professional skater. He has like a warehouse, but he made it fun because he put like skate ramps, and he put like all this cool stuff. Like, I would do something like that, like where I have a warehouse and I have like a little arcade and like, you know, cool stuff like that. I wouldn't just have, it wouldn't be a store though. Like, people can't come to my location and buy things off me. It would be like exclusive invites only.
Okay.
Type of thing.
Cool.
And that's what I have a buddy that does that.
Yeah.
You can only be in this warehouse with him in his amazing freaking comic book palace, cave. I call it the secret lair, like Austin Powers, my secret lair, because no one goes there unless you're invited or you know him, and then that's where he has exclusive signings from artists. He invites you know, all this cool stuff. So I would have something like that for sure, if it came to that point. But as far as digital art, you don't need that.
Right.
You don't. You know,
the Metaverse warehouse.
It's in a cloud somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of interesting things. There's just reality, right? Like, that's awesome to be successful. But crap, now I gotta go to a warehouse. When I said like booth front, I wasn't sure if you were selling or what the goal was, right? So, but just for storage, because there's so much stuff. Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was the main key, right? With like Veve and where am I gonna put this shit? You know, right. You know, and that's another thing with the other business. So it costs money to invest if you even just to keep the lights on, somewhere to store the stuff. People thinks it's so easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it ain't easy, man. Everybody be doing it.